Welcome to Barbaras Bulletin, the podcast where we bring you the latest news and updates from around the world. We have a lot of ground to cover, so let's dive right in. Our top story today is the recent announcement from President Trump regarding a potential agreement between Israel and Hamas. According to reports, the deal would involve the disarmament of Hamas and the withdrawal of Israeli forces from Gaza. The agreement is part of a larger 20-point ceasefire plan that aims to bring an end to the conflict in the region. The details of the agreement are still emerging, but it is reported that the disarmament process would be carried out in phases, with the International Stabilization Force working alongside a new Palestinian police force to ensure the safety and security of Gaza's residents. The deal also envisions the deployment of an international security force and the rebuilding of the battered Palestinian enclave. While this announcement is certainly significant, it's worth noting that Israel has yet to respond officially, and there are still many questions about how the agreement would be implemented and enforced. Hamas has long been reluctant to give up its arsenal, which lies at the heart of its identity as a militant group. We'll be keeping a close eye on this story as it develops, and will bring you updates and analysis in the days and weeks ahead. It's a complex and sensitive issue, and we'll strive to provide balanced and nuanced coverage. The conflict in Gaza has had devastating consequences for civilians on both sides, with over 73,000 Palestinians killed and many more displaced. The international community is eager to see a peaceful resolution to the conflict, but it remains to be seen whether this agreement will be enough to bring about lasting peace. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Barbaras Bulletin. Welcome back to Barbaras Bulletin. We're diving into the complex and evolving situation in the Middle East, where tensions between Iran and the United States continue to escalate. Reports are emerging of a significant development in the conflict, with President Trump announcing that Hamas has agreed to the next phase of a peace deal for Gaza, which includes the disarmament of the militant group. According to sources, this agreement is seen as a major step towards lasting peace and security in the region. However, the exact details and timeline of the disarmament process remain unclear. This development comes amidst ongoing military operations in the region, with the U.S. and Saudi Arabia conducting joint strikes against Iran-backed militants in Iraq. The conflict has also sparked debate in the U.S. Senate, where a vote to limit President Trump's war powers has failed once again. The resolution, which aimed to direct the removal of U.S. forces from hostilities in Iran without congressional authorization, was rejected by a margin of 49 to 50. Meanwhile, Iran has continued to target U.S. military facilities in the region, with reports of drone strikes on a base in Kuwait. The Iranian military claims that these strikes were in response to recent U.S. aggression against their country. As the situation continues to unfold, it's essential to consider multiple perspectives and stay informed about the latest developments. We'll be keeping a close eye on this story and providing updates as more information becomes available. Welcome back to the closing segment of Barbaras Bulletin. As we continue to explore the latest developments from around the world, a significant decision has been made in the United Kingdom regarding China's plans to build a mega embassy in London. The High Court has ruled that the UK's approval for this vast embassy was lawful, rejecting a legal challenge brought by a group of local residents. This story has garnered considerable attention due to its implications on diplomatic relations between the UK and China, as well as concerns over potential security risks and the impact on human rights. The proposed embassy site is at the Royal Mint Court, near the Tower of London, an area steeped in history and significance. The decision to allow China to construct such a large diplomatic mission in this location has been seen by some as part of broader efforts to improve ties with Beijing, despite warnings from British and U.S. politicians about potential espionage activities. The local residents who brought the challenge forward expressed fears that the new embassy could be used not only as a base for spying, but also to monitor Chinese dissidents and potentially curtail protests. However, Britain's intelligence agencies have suggested that any threat posed by the embassy could be mitigated through appropriate measures. In dismissing the residents' challenge, the High Court noted that the government had carefully considered the application, including the fact that it was made by the Chinese government. The court also addressed concerns about fairness and transparency in the planning decision process, stating that there was no unfairness to the claimants due to certain documents not being disclosed at the time of the decision. This ruling is significant for both diplomatic relations between the UK and China and for the local community affected by the embassy's construction. The Residents' Association has indicated its intention to appeal against the High Court's decision, suggesting that this story is far from over. As we conclude today's Barbaras Bulletin, it's clear that international diplomacy and local concerns are intertwined in complex ways. The balance between fostering good diplomatic relations and addressing legitimate security and human rights concerns is a delicate one. We will continue to follow developments on this story and provide updates as more information becomes available. That's all for today's Barbaras Bulletin. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay engaged.